Hello and welcome. For today's lesson, we will learn about the largest game bird in North America, the wild turkey. A game bird is a type of bird that you're allowed to hunt for, like a dove, a quail, turkeys, and others. This right here, this is an adult male wild turkey. They're called toms. A tom can weigh up to 20 pounds or more full grown. That's pretty big for a bird. This right here is the female wild turkey, called a hen. Hens weigh on average about 10 or so pounds. Now, how you tell the difference between a hen and a tom is first their colors. Right here I have two turkey decoys. These are used if you go out turkey hunting. As you see, the tom turkey has more colors than does the female hen. This is true for most birds in the bird kingdom because the males, they will typically be more brightly colored to attract a mate, where the females will typically be more camouflage colored to blend in with the nest and not be detected by a predator. Some other things that the tom turkey has: a beard. Now, this is not the normal beard you're thinking of that grows from your chin. This beard grows from their chest. It looks like hairs, but they're actually modified feathers. Another thing, toms have spurs, one on the back of each leg. They're sharp pieces of bone, and toms use these to battle other toms over territory and fight over the hens. They will basically give a downward heel kick and try to get each other with their spurs. Turkey hunters, a lot of the time, will choose to keep the spur and the beard as sort of a souvenir of the hunt, much in the same way as a deer hunter might keep the antlers of a deer if he gets a really good deer. Now, lastly, with the tom, they have very pronounced snood, wattle, and caruncles, which are on their head. As you see right here, the snood is a flap of skin that hangs over the beak. The wattle is a flap of skin that hangs from the chin down to the throat, and the caruncles are these lumpy, fleshy growths on the throat and on the head. Now, the hens, they also have that too. They're just much less pronounced. As you see, the hen, she has a snood, wattle, caruncles, but they're much less pronounced and not as obvious. The thing about the snood, wattle, and caruncles on the tom is what happens during their courtship display. A courtship display is basically a mating dance. Turkey mating season is early spring, and what happens whenever it's turkey mating season, the toms will put on their mating dance, and what they do is their head will flush with blood. So the snood, wattle, and caruncles will all swell and turn a bright red color. The top of the head will turn this kind of bright bluish white color as well. They will then fan out their tail feathers. So instead of looking downward like that, their tail feathers will perk up and fan out, try to look really pretty. And then their wings, they'll take their wings and they'll point them straight down and actually drag the wingtips along the ground. So they'll puff themselves up to make themselves look really big and strong and all pretty with all their feathers and their head turning red and blue. And they'll basically strut back and forth right in front of the hens to show how gloriously handsome they are. So I'm going to do my best wild turkey tom courtship display. Pick me, pick me. And hopefully if they do good enough, the hen will pick them. If a hen chooses the tom, they will then mate, and shortly after, the hen will start laying her eggs. The hen will lay around 10 or so eggs. She will lay one egg per day until all eggs are laid. Once all her eggs are laid, she will begin incubation. Incubation means she will sit on the eggs so they will keep warm and they will start to develop. She waits until all eggs are laid to start incubating. That way, when it comes time to hatch, they'll all hatch at the same time. If she started incubating at different times, say if she laid one egg, started sitting on that egg, laid another egg the next day, started sitting on that egg, they would kind of hatch days apart. So it makes it a lot easier on the turkey to wait until they're all laid before she sits on them. That way, when it comes time to hatch, they all hatch at the same time. The hen will build her nest on the ground, hidden in the bushes. Most ground-dwelling birds, like turkeys, ducks, geese, when their babies hatch, they're already pretty mobile and they can walk and even run. Other birds you think of that build their nest up into a tree, when those babies hatch, they're pretty much helpless. They really have no feathers. Their eyes are shut. They sit there and beg and squawk and hope mom and dad brings them some worms to eat, and it takes them a while to grow up. But not on the hand of the turkey. Once they hatch, they are pretty much all mobile. They have a layer of feathers, their eyes are open, and they can escape a predator. There's all kinds of predators on the ground, like foxes, bobcats, raccoons, possums, skunks, coyotes, you name it. So birds that are hatched on the ground, they are pretty mobile once they exit the egg, so they can escape those predators. A baby turkey is about 2 times to 3 times the size of a baby chicken. Baby turkeys are called poults. P-O-U-L-T-S, a poult. That is a baby turkey. And when they hatch, they're already following mom around, and they eat mostly bugs. They want to eat as many bugs as they can so they can get as much protein as they can so they can grow quickly. They grow pretty quickly in the first month of their life. Now once they're out of that baby poult stage, when they grow up a little bit, a young turkey, a young male, is called a jake. And then a young female is called a jenny. So you have the poult, then you have the young male is the jake, the adult male is a tom. Then you have a poult, the young female is a jenny, the adult female is a hen. So once they're full grown, they really have a lot of abilities. Most people think that turkeys cannot fly. Well, I'm here to tell you, turkeys, they can fly. They just don't fly for very long. Turkeys can fly up to speeds 55 miles an hour. It's pretty fast. They can fly long enough to escape a predator. So if you ever walk around in the woods and you startle up a bunch of turkeys, you will hear them, they take off. First they can run really fast, and then they'll take off flying, their big wings, and they'll take off, and they can even glide, and they'll just glide down the valley side up to a mile over to the next hill, and they'll land. So they are able to fly and run pretty quick. Another thing about them, turkeys' hearing. They don't look like they have any ears, but they do have little ear holes, if you can see right behind the eye, right about there. Their sense of hearing is incredible. If you move an inch or step on a twig, they will hear you for sure. So if you're turkey hunting, you want to stay as quiet as possible. They also have amazing eyesight. This here is a wild turkey skull. You see the eye socket compared to the size of their head, very big eye socket. They can see in color, and they can pick up pretty much any movement. So turkey hunters know good and well to stay completely quiet and completely still. Another thing about them, oddly enough, they do not have a very good sense of smell. Most birds don't have a very good sense of smell except for like vultures. So it doesn't matter what you smell like if you're turkey hunting, as long as you stay quiet and stay still so they can't see you or hear you. In my opinion, a wild turkey is probably the most beautiful animal we have here in Kentucky. If you're ever lucky enough to see one up close, let's say if you go turkey hunting and you get a turkey and you're able to get real close and touch it, you will see their feathers are just absolutely beautiful. As the sun shines down on their feathers will reflect different colors. It can be kind of purple, it can be kind of green, and it's just overall beautiful animal, and really cool feet, spurs, their head, just really adapted, just a crazy looking animal. What we're lucky to have here in Kentucky. So if you ever do see one, know that you're lucky, because turkeys are pretty secretive and reclusive. Don't see them too much. So if you do see one, make sure to enjoy. Thank you.